All right, a massive security breach. This one may be the largest on record. Equifax, one of the three big credit reporting bureaus, says 143 million Americans are likely impacted. Equifax says the data breach involved the names, addresses, social security numbers, birth dates, and driver's license information for about half of the U.S. population. In addition, 209,000 credit card numbers have already been stolen. The breach occurred as early as mid-May. It wasn't discovered until July 29th, but Equifax is just now making it public.
I deeply regret this incident, and I apologize to every affected consumer and all of our partners.
Now, ironically, Equifax is where people go when they fear they've been hacked. On Wall Street, Equifax plunged in heavy trading following the credit monitoring company's disclosure of the breach. Here's the really disturbing part. The company could be facing extra scrutiny after three executives sold more than $1.88 million in stock just days after the breach and before the company had notified shareholders and consumers of the incident. That's according to the Securities and Exchange filings analyzed by 9 News. Now, we've been talking about this all morning on our social media pages, so many of you have really great questions. We brought in an expert today to try and answer some of those questions. I'm joined by Metro State University Professor of Computer Science, Dr. Steve Beatty. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Now, when it comes to the questions that we're getting, Equifax says that its credit reporting site wasn't affected, but criminals exploited vulnerability on a U.S. website application. What does that mean exactly?
So websites are run by software, and software has bugs. And so essentially what they were able to do, I assume at this point, we don't have a full story, but I assume what they were able to do then is break into it without having a password and then download the 143 million account information through that. So it was a vulnerability in the pre-existing software.
So the questions that we're getting on our Facebook page, they're all very logical. Julie Forrest asked, why did they wait 2 months to tell us? Chase credit card hacked. Will Equifax be responsible for the money lost and those affected?
In general, Equifax won't be responsible for it. Your own credit card company is typically on the hook for the fraud. And so I would also suggest that maybe these two are unrelated, the Equifax and the Chase card. And so there are laws in each of the different states and federal laws as to how long a company has to report any sort of breach.
Okay. Now, Reg Valdez asked, how are they going to bring our credit scores back up? If your score dips due to this hack, will that be something that can be corrected, or is it still a 7-year waiting period?
I don't believe it'll be a 7-year waiting period. I think essentially because it's just one of the big three, that you will have the opportunity to fix it. Up to this point, we haven't actually seen any fallout of the particular breach, at least so far as we know. So up to this point, it doesn't appear that those data have been used to reduce anybody's credit score.
So this one was really disturbing to me. One of the Facebook viewers said, even my 8 and 10-year-old boys come up as potentially impacted. Do they really have information on minors? And they're curious of the accuracy of this 6-digit check since everyone in their family came up as potentially impacted.
Yeah, I think that is a concern. I'd be very surprised if their children actually ended up being part of this breach. So I'd be urged caution here that there are going to be a lot of sites popping up to say that they are related to this particular breach. And the truth of the matter is there's only one site at this point that you can look at and trust, and that's EquifaxSecurity2017.com. There are going to be a lot of people phishing, piling on, doing these sorts of things, trying to take advantage of people. So I would urge some conservatism, wait for a little while to see how things shake out.
One of the other interesting things that you shared with me before the show started was that if you sign up with Equifax to find this information, you have to agree not to sue them.
That is true. So part of the sign-up procedure here is that you are agreeing not to sue them, not to be part of a class action suit, and they will monitor your credit for 1 year through one of their own subsidiaries, Trust ID. And so, you know, it's all sort of playing together here. And again, I would urge people to slow down. You can monitor your own credit just fine. There are concerns around this breach, but I would then say, okay, let's see how it shakes out for at least a week or so to see if anybody's actually going to exploit these data.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for coming in.
It's my pleasure.
We're going to call you again. We have a lot of questions.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.